Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Boardwalk Hall here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, as we have a big night of action in store for you, and it's all brought to you. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first on my left, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim. His record stands at 30 wins, 1 defeat, 1 no contest, with 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBO number 6 welterweight contender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger, introducing Joshua Clottey. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing maroon trunks with silver trim. His record 33 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 7th defense of his title, the WBO Welterweight Champion of the World, known as the Tijuana Tornado, introducing Antonio Margarito.
Okay, man, I'm going to repeat my instructions. Voy a repetir mis instrucciones. I want a nice, clean match, una pelea limpia. I want to wish you both luck. El CEO suelte a los dos. Deme un touch. Óigame, súbele al cinturón.
Busy, high volume Antonio Margarito, not the most technically gifted, but the physical, accurate Joshua Clottey, who really commits to the body often. But watch out for those rough house tactics for Joshua Clottey in the blue. The Margarito puzzle, he'll block a lot of punches, and Margarito throws himself more room to throw, as Al pointed out earlier. Very messy.
There's Clottey with the left hook early on. It's a punch this year by Antonio Margarito.
Margarito. And as mentioned, not normally a torrid starter.
You see Clottey on the outside. He is very good at keeping his hands high. You must, while Clottey is there, defending that way will help you.
And now either hand, that was very effective in his last fight. But you got to...
Joshua Clottey is getting the left hand in on the inside, very short left hooks. When he gets inside the jab of Margarito, he's already making some. See Margarito wanting very much to use the jab to keep him at bay. He said, "Ching distance."
Clottey, a precision puncher, good shot to the responsible type defense. Good chin.
All of those block, but of course they're rangefinders. He wants to get that big right hand in.
Stoppage.
5 seconds, 5 segundos. Time.
Get inside. Joshua Clottey is able to do things like this. He gets in the middle of the defense of Antonio Margarito. You see a look at it on the inside. It didn't land perfectly, but it...
He's alive, he's alive. You got to keep moving and have control.
Felix de Jesus with the translation here. 38 fights all told. The last time was in '99 versus Danny Perez. Of concern to you was Juan Soberanes in '96.
Because he knocked a significant one.
That was right to the liver. Should point out, though, shot was blocked. Now he goes to the body. His body.
Margarito is getting countered. There's a left hook by Clottey. Margarito's
right hand, a right cross that connected by Clottey.
This battle is being waged on the inside. That's all to the good for Joshua Clottey.
He's won 3 straight, all by knockout. Undefeated at 146. His only loss in the last 10. Another good right hand by Clottey. 10 years against Daniel Santos.
You know, I would understand a little bit to Margarito, too. That's got to be a little worrisome to Margarito's corner.
By Clottey. He does have a tendency to work to his disadvantage with a guy like Margarito. You're supposed to work your way in, jab your way in, but
he's took by Clottey. Now, with all this good work by Joshua Clottey early in and he is so dangerous as a puncher, but Clottey has got to like the way ropes
just a second ago, which is perhaps something he learned from Azuma against Jeff Fennick in his 2 fights. And there's a beautiful Benji Estevez telling Clottey to get the punches up. Of course,
he was penalized in his fight against Gutierrez.
Does have a reputation of doing that. Well, they'll speak a combination of God
and with the right.
Here is Margarito, right, and a counter left hand by Clottey. You see how the distance, it's actually a triple left hook. Now, 2 of the 3 landed.
Meanwhile, Margarito getting a warning from Benji Estevez, third man of the being warned.
Keep him up, Tony.
There's a punch a little bit low.
And right hand. But as we said earlier, Mark is not a fast starter, so you never know. Don't be misled here.
True to his word, using his jab a lot. It just isn't landing that much. But
look at this work rate all of a sudden by Margarito. It has picked up considerably. Missed. And it's a right uppercut on the inside by Clottey.
Defensively, Margarito does not slip punches well. I'm going to hit him, and he is.
With vulnerabilities, which makes you believe we could be in
a fascinating, and interesting, and I think exciting fight. Good fight.
Tries to dig out of a hole here in the early for 12. Clottey to the body, to the head with the right hand. Underdog. A left hook by Clottey that scored.
The defensive liability
at 14. So that catches up to you. These are wide.
Margarito's been able to get through these technical issues because of his.
There's that uppercut, followed by a right by Margarito, but there's not a lot of steam behind those punches. Another big round for the.
You're not thinking. You're the defense. You got to use your jab.
Punches on the inside. Now those were kind of wild, but there's the right hand. Has a counter punch by Clottey. Even though Margarito lands that, here's Clottey getting that counter punch in. A solid right hand. Now, the point is, with his power, he's always Margarito, but still, this is not going the way Margarito would like it to. Look at how he wraps up Margarito when he thinks things are getting out of hand.
Another good right hand. He was hit low. That was
to get a warning from Estevez.
Well, Clottey's reputation, unfortunately for him.
Good fight in terms of strategy.
Yeah, you said he's got to get inside and dig those. That's what they want him to do. Another shot by Clottey. This is thought that Margarito might be looking ahead, looking past him.
Let him out, let him out, let him out.
In the corner, we heard them say to Margarito doing that in this round. He's still concentrating on the head.
Clottey showing his start for the champion, Antonio Margarito. A short, crisp uppercut on the inside by. So Clottey is so far fighting a textbook fight.
And most of them blocked or some missed, and mostly body works.
Margarito has been wild with his punches. Now Clottey comes forward. But once again, it's Clottey with the upper hand.
Squaring himself up to Clottey, which he sometimes does.
Very upset now. And Margarito.
He's breaking down. He's breaking down. You felt him. You got to look for the control. Look for the holes. Look for the holes.
There were punches that strayed low. There were heads banging together. Now they both his head down at that moment, but they both not happy with the.
Say this could develop into a messy affair. And wearing the blue with the white trim is the challenger Joshua Clottey. And so far,
Margarito is himself closing the distance between himself and Clottey. Look at as he comes in. He's falling in, and he's going to give Clottey a chance to land something.
And the tough Clottey shaking his head. These are pulling punches now.
Margarito certainly winning this round. Are any of these punches affecting Clottey? We'll see.
Clottey has just decided to go on defense. Starts opening up more offensively. Was he just playing possum there? You're right. I think that's what's on the mind here of Joshua Clottey. But remember, Clottey has had problems with.
We're certainly giving away round 5.
Joshua Clottey, he just led with his right. He didn't jab his way in.
Primarily because Clottey has simply done nothing offensively. Is all this this sound and fury signifying nothing, or is Antonio
of Clottey's strategy, but it's not going to win him the round, but he's thinking maybe in the
5 seconds.
There's a good right hand here towards the end of the round by John. And we invite you to text message your predictions. I think the fight will last 8 rounds or more. Text the message to SHOT. Miguel Cotto in the dressing room. They sit Quintana for the vacant WBA welterweight belt as he moves up at 6, scheduled for 12, as Clottey just played defense.
and look factor now because he's had to throw a lot of punches and is being
so therefore you would think he'd be tremendously conditioned.
See how he does.
Let's go.
Take a look. Joshua Clottey complained to his trainer about his left hand to you.
All right, Jim will keep a close watch on that. As
left hand, I guarantee you, if it is injured, he can't throw those hooks to the right.
And now we may have gotten the answer as to why that took place.
That would be Antonio Margarito, who's
struggling to say that Clottey uses his right hand. He has not used the left in a while.
Watch your hands in it.
Yeah, he's pawing with that left hook.
Margarito, again, a pawing left hand by Clottey. Not a lot behind that.
Lack of activity by Clottey, and he's just ripping away, which is what Margarito does.
So, of course, a one-handed fighter, it seems, right now.
And, you know, they did earlier. There is the punch.
Al-Hassan Addy is our translator.
I'm in the pain, my left hand. Your left hand, but I want you to use your right. Use the right. Use the right, use the right.
First 4 rounds.
Just knowing how he started out this fight. Let's see if he can get.
And obviously, you know, when your hand is hurt, you'll throw it if you can. The left is his major weapon. He has a decent.
Bernard Fernandez, the Philadelphia Daily News. Tim Graham from the Buffalo News.
2 of the ringside judges.
Low blow by Clottey.
Shake it off. No point being deducted, I don't believe. Is a very busy fighter, and he continues to be busy in this fight. And the defense of Clottey's still pretty decent.
When Margarito just
left hooks from Clottey, so he's picking his spots to throw that punch.
Nice uppercut on the inside by Margarito. Margarito chasing.
And so obvious that since that injury, Clottey is just not better. Look how Margarito's squaring himself up. That stuff Clottey was taking advantage of in the first 4 rounds.
Left hand injury. What has happened to Joshua Clottey? Maybe they just think he's run out of gas. Despite the problem, to the head. He's got 2, 3 in a row there to the jaw. His face getting very red.
Well, it's a good round for Mark.
Okay.
And there's the bell.
Use your right. You can try over the left, but try and use.
From Clottey, and of course that was when they gave some time to Marg. And while he could use it sparingly, did use that punch a little bit. You see how he's slapping them, and then Margarito will get in his low blow. Left hook that
record out. Kwame Asante in the corner of Clottey. His left hand is damaged, although he did unleash it a couple of times and effective.
The other part that's too bad about this injury is it's kind of affected its appealing nature. Good body shots by Margarito.
And guarding his trainer's instructions, he is still using the left. He used it again just.
Margarito, he has done a good job working downstairs in this round.
Put your hands in there.
But ultimately gets it done. Oh, nice.
Is abandoning is the right uppercut. There it is. It works
by Joshua Clottey.
Doing some very good work.
Clottey showing he'd thrown in the towel after hurting their left hand like that.
In these last couple rounds, which is why he's probably winning them, but Clottey is doing some very good work.
2 or 3 unanswered lefts followed by a right by Josh Clottey. Watch the heads. Clottey missing with a wild left. which is intriguing because his last fight, Lujan's ear off in the fight.
Clottey. He's pinning his hopes now on that right ad. Look, there it is, as Margarito.
What a round for Clottey, despite his woes.
Eat the chin.
Was in the mix in that last round. Blasting away with hand. And he was able to get some things done against Margarito during the course of that round, but things like that counter right landing for Clottey, and there's a going to use that punch more and more, Steve, as this fight wears on.
If indeed a
round in that last round, and who you decided to give it to could go along. More activity for Margarito.
Let's go.
So it's a good round too. Look at that up there. He knows it. He's a smart fighter. He found it, and he's going to keep using it.
no. Antonio Margarito.
And the reason he can. Clottey's going back to that left hand fight.
Here's the press row scoring through 8 round points, and then Jose Sanchez has Margarito ahead by 2.
I have it a draw. A couple of very close rounds, especially that last round.
Very. There's a left hook
Hunt here, and he's landing that right hand with impunity. There's Margarito's uppercut, which he had.
There he tries it again. Now it's Margarito marching forward.
Margarito squaring himself up to Clottey, but I think the bodywork of Margarito.
Clottey's got to be careful here. And this does not impress the judges. Joshua Clottey.
Boy, he should not be staying in that corner, as you point out.
Is a very awesome.
Comes off the ropes.
He is fighting well off the ropes. Margarito trying to finish him off, and he is a very good closer. Again, the attack by Margarito as we head for the back.
It's broken.
Try. No, you see. Okay, one more round.
Give.
Al-Hassan Addy, that Clottey said, my finger is broken.
With that left hand that he can't do all the things technically he wants to, but he's fighting.
You look at Margarito's face, he certainly looks lightning.
Now let's point out that for Margarito, with only that here he is now, well into this fight after having only fought Margarito and hang in there.
Yeah, he's a warrior too. He's a tough kid too.
Clottey's hands are very low on the outside.
Clottey has gone into a running mode,
and that's not
the Estevez has certainly had his hands full tonight.
You'll recall earlier in this match.
Let's go. Watch your heads, all right? Come on.
I'm amazed.
Touch him up, fight him clean.
No point.
We normally do boxing on the outside. Can't jab effectively because his left hand hurts.
Crowd, and you hear the crowd reaction, but of course they don't know why. He's a courageous performance by Joshua Clottey. Well, they're asking Clottey if he wants to continue. You saw one of the ringside
kind of is for them to have him on the outside, paw with a jab and throw. So, you know, there's two schools of thought at work here. Or could. Whatever happens in this fight, in life of another opportunity at a world championship, you have to.
Here's a look at press row. Shows you how close this thing is.
A wide variance in the scoring, but we have 2 more rounds left, of course, for somebody to take further control. Round right now. Clottey has been a little more active than
the Punisher Williams,
who's a very Tommy Hearns at a young age. Look at how Margarito squares himself up between the last round or two like he was earlier in the fight.
Rumor has it that Williams in sparring sessions. There's a right hand fight and a good body shot with the left hand by Margarito.
Look at Margarito just square himself up. That is a serious flaw. And there's the head.
Didn't do anything about it.
And the activity of Margarito makes it very tough to score it for Clottey, though Clottey did some.
But Clottey's certainly not running around or dancing. I don't think and he's just not that kind of fighter. So he is still
his way to winning this fight. his strategic and technically his defensive problems that can be exploited.
Yeah, if he gets
Good job and move your head and use the right. My answer.
Intentional or not in round 10. Wow, that looked fairly intentional. Round 11, that scene would repeat itself and we'll blast it off to the right.
Now this is interesting, Al. Margarito once in his career, he's 1-0, beat Danny Perez in 0-2. Good, Clottey. And a fellow named Marciano Comey back in 1995.
Doing the work necessary to be able to throw punches for 12 rounds. He is a...
And press row through 11. Clottey ahead, so you see the disparity.
I have Margarito by 3 right now. Now Clottey needs to do something dramatic here. And one of the possibilities is to try and lure that he was throwing earlier. But he's not throwing that punch very much. So the winning mode, more in the surviving mode.
He just wasn't the same, but boy, was he something through the first
single round, and since then has not been the same fighter.
Early on and towards the middle of the fight in the Margarito corner.
Talking, Tony, let's go.
But things really changing, and because of the injured left hand, claimed by Clottey.
You have to give a lot of props to Margarito for the fact that he's been able to stay busy through this whole fight.
And that's it. And the crowd showing its appreciation. Margarito is hoisted in the air. Particularly the way it began. Standing by is Carlos Quintana. In our second co-main event coming up, Cotto Quintana for the vacant double. Meanwhile, we await the decision in our first co-main event. Antonio Margarito got off to, so looks like we are set for the decision right now. So
118 to 109. Judging Antonio Margarito.
I think 118, 109, way too big a spread. I had a 160.
Meanwhile, Joshua Clottey unsuccessful in his first attempt at a world night for Clottey, who got off to such a great start, but a shame that he injured his left.
Believes he broke his left hand in the 4th round and his right hand.
I was in the gym training and I feel the hand there. But you know, I don't want to spoil the issue, so
that put it over the top and gave you this pain.
I thought it was okay. But when I come to the ring and
about quitting?
No, first when the hand was paining me, my left, I control a lot of combination from my left. So when I broke the left hand, I can't do anything.
Dijeron que se había lastimado él también las manos.
I didn't know until the last round that
abajito de la muñeca, ya no la podía soltar bien.
Tonight, based on the long layoff and then just the minute fight that you had.
Sentir la inactividad, yo creo que es mucho tiempo que dejamos de pelear.
Started warming up as of the 6th round.
Did you feel as though you were an easy target?
Me afectó. Ya son 10 meses de que peleé. Quiero pelear un poco.
Paul Williams es mandatario. ¿Quiere pelear con?
Bueno, si está número 1, se puede llevarlo.
¿Qué piensa de la otra pelea que viene ahora entre Cotto y? To the fact that they're both undefeated, and I want to fight whoever wins that fight.
I
understand that it's up to Bob Arum, but Bob Arum is shaking his head. Would that be the plan, Bob?
Well, you know, there's no fights bigger in boxing than a Mexican against the.
Gracias for your time.
Quiero mandar saludos para todo Tijuana.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Before we review the scoring, he hurt his left hand. This is the 4th round. And landed, it was a beautiful punch, and that may have been the spot where in retreat may have been the spot where he injured his left hand, and it for the remainder of the fight when he throwing the left hand. And to Antonio Margarito after the injury, so you see the big by unanimous decision after the tough start, and then this thing was 115 to 113, and then Jose Sanchez had coverage from Atlantic City. A word about some upcoming programming here on Showtime.